I kept going back and forth between internet sites today, between YouTube pages today, trying to find the hearing or the confirmation hearing for Amy Coney Barrett. And all I kept finding was a bunch of Democrats campaigning for Joe Biden and attacking the Affordable Care Act and attacking the president. It was really weird. Maybe you all can help me in the comments and let me know where I can find the confirmation hearing, because I couldn't find it today. I do want to talk about a few of the things I heard, though, because I find them to be fairly important. And then I want to talk to you guys one more time a little bit about attitude, a little bit about outlook, because I was reminded numerous times yet again today that it probably wouldn't hurt to just help people get a little more centered, a little more focused. I'm Jared. This is RedRacer Video, formerly a car vlogger, now an independent citizen journalist. Thanks to you, the viewers. RedRacerVideo.com is my website. Down below in the description, you will find a link where you can go and support the channel. We've got t-shirts, we've got hoodies, we've got tons of tumblers. I finally have my new ones to show you in person. Our Mega Claw tumblers, these are our new thing. Everybody loves them. Real quick on the back here, when you pour water into this, the daily nutritional values immediately become 0% impeachment, 200% fake news, 100% patriotism, 30% spray tan, gun rights 80%, liberal tears 1000%. Also got the Trump-a-lobe ultimate, 100% your president of the United States. Thank you, everybody who continues to support the channel. I can only do this because of you. All right, here we go. So today I want to talk about a few different things. Attitude being one, but I want to jump back before we do that again and talk about the fact that today I really wanted to hear some logical arguments from Democrats or from the Rhino Republicans or whoever it might be against Amy Coney Barrett becoming the next Supreme Court Justice. I went into this open-minded, folks. I really did. And in fairness, I haven't watched every minute of it yet. I've still got to get some of that done. But I had packages to ship. I had students to home teach or children to home teach. And I just, I got a lot going on. So I haven't been able to watch all of it. But what I did watch was not a surprise in any way. But it became very obvious very quickly that the Democrats really have nothing going for them. They're in a lot of trouble. They kept going back and forth and spewing from the mouth about the fact that nobody's ever filled a seat in an election year. That's a lie. They said nobody's ever done it this close to an election, which may be true. I think we're doing it like 30 days or something before the election, 20-something days before the election. The president's not done being the president until January. So even if the president doesn't win the election, which he's going to, even if he didn't, he still has till January to be the president. He still doesn't stop being the president on November 1. So it's a stupid argument. But they went on, and I got a real big kick out of the fact that just about every one of them, it's obvious what their game plan is, right? Just like with the mainstream media, the talking points go out in the morning. And I guarantee you all the Democratic senators or Democratic representatives in the hearing all got their 4 a.m. talking points, and they were all the same. What were they? It was obvious they were going to go and say that if she becomes the Supreme Court Justice, that the president's going to get rid of the Affordable Care Act and everyone's going to lose insurance and pre-existing conditions are going to be gone. They even went as far as to give you a bunch of examples of people they're telling you will lose their health care. I find that comical because our president has told us countless times they will never, ever turn their back on people with pre-existing conditions. And our president doesn't have a history of telling us things and then not doing them. Cough, cough, the wall. It's just hilarious to me that they can still sit on camera and look us, and I brought this up like 2 or 3 videos ago, they can still just get on camera and just continue to lie over and over and over like we don't know what the hell is going on. The Affordable Care Act was a scam. It was a joke. They talk like if it goes away, it'll be a bad thing. It will be a bad thing for a couple of people. It'll be a bad thing for people that were just riding the bus and just riding the coattails for free. But for everyone else, it's a good thing. Really, really quickly, and I don't have all the stats in front of me because, again, this was a fly by the seat of my pants deal. The Affordable Care Act was an absolute joke. They told us you wouldn't. Barack Obama, out of his own mouth, stood on camera and said, "You like your doctor? You'll keep him." Lie. You lost your doctors. Affordable Care Act? Affordable for who? The people who can't afford a Twinkie that live off of the system, they got free insurance. But for everyone else, healthcare became unaffordable. Most people opted out and paid the penalty at the end of the year on their taxes. You were penalized for not taking their insurance that sucked. all the exchanges they set up. So basically all the places they set up to help fund and to help pay all these medical expenses, half of the exchanges were bankrupt already. This is not a good thing, and it's never been a good thing, yet they sat on camera, and by they I mean a bunch of different Democratic senators sat on camera today and attacked Amy Coney Barrett. Not attacked her, I guess you would say, but tried to say that if she becomes a Supreme Court justice, she's only becoming so because the president wants to take people that have health care now and take their health care away. Do you see what they do? Consistently pushing fear. They have nothing else. They can't run on any of their own things. They have to push fear. She also sat and talked about how successful it was. She said that they've tried 70 times to attack it because of how successful it was. Are you stupid? Harris, you're a vice presidential candidate in our country, and you called the Affordable Care Act successful. That's all you folks should need to hear. If she thinks that is successful, okay. I mean, go ahead and vote for her then, I guess. But man, she defines success a lot differently than I do. A lot differently. Another thing that I thought was just special, just rich, was the part where, again, I'm going back to Harris. A lot of what I'm focusing on right now and why I'm focusing on Kamala Harris right now is because she's running for vice president. It's absolutely comical. She used this as her opportunity to campaign for president. Let's be honest. This is just what it was, right? Not only did she use that as her opportunity to campaign for president, all the other Democratic senators got an opportunity to talk. We're doing the same thing. They were all saying and doing things that made it sound like they were basically pitching their candidate and doing everything they could to knock our president. She also, getting back to Kamala Harris, she also spoke about how we shouldn't be sitting here right now trying to confirm a justice. We should all be here right now trying to get a bill passed to get relief to all the American people who can't afford to pay their bills this month. This part of it, and I'm doing it right now, this part of it required a lot of physical and emotional restraint on my part. I cannot believe, like a lot of you I'm sure, and I know this is why a lot of us get frustrated and we want to rest. Why is nothing happening? Nothing's ever going to happen. I understand why we feel that way, because I felt that way today as I watched this moron stand in front or sit in front of the camera and try and tell people that our president is the reason that a second stimulus check hasn't gone out. That could not be farther from the truth. The House passed a bill with $3 trillion in it, the vast majority of which went to businesses and failing states and failing Democratic states. It was all fun. It was slush fund money. It was all going to pad their pockets. It was going to help the states, the Democratic states that have run themselves into the ground. It was going to pad their books. And then it was also going to do what they always do, and they were just going to creatively move money around. And then all these senators that came in broke, that are millionaires, get their cuts and life goes on as usual. And that's what they were trying to do. Our president said no. The Republicans came back with like a $1 trillion bill. Then they fought. And then you guys, you probably all saw it. They got on camera, blamed on each other, blah, 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 blah. Then the president and the Republicans came back again and said, nope, we just want to help the people. And then the Democrats came back again and said, okay, now we only want $2.4 trillion. But still, tons of money was just going to pad the pockets of failing, bankrupt Democratic states that are failing and bankrupt because of their policies. Not because of Donald Trump, not because of him getting rid of the Affordable Care Act, not because of COVID, but because of their policies. So they brought it back again. And then the Senate and everybody met again. And then they came away again with no deal. Why? Because again, the Republicans wanted just the money for the people. And the Democrats wanted all this extra money for stuff that had nothing to do with COVID. Kamala Harris, she went on and on and on about COVID and the pandemic and how the Republicans refused to give people the money. Could not be farther from the truth. The people that are suffering because the Democrats locked our country down. They're suffering because the Democrats made them wear masks. They're suffering because the Democrats made their businesses close and wouldn't let them go to church. You did this. COVID didn't do this. The pandemic didn't do this. You did this. Your shutdown did this. Even the World Health Organization has admitted President Trump was right. The cure was worse than the illness. Shutting down the country and crushing all these people's jobs and everything that happened was worse than the illness. And one more time, one more thing to touch on before I go on a positive tip and end this video on something that's going to uplift you, as opposed to make you not be able to stand our government. Our president has numerous times in the last week come out and said, I have the stimulus checks for the people, not for the businesses, not for the big corporations, not for the failing democratic states, not for the museums, not for any of that crap. For the actual people affected by COVID. Our president has said numerous times, I've got those checks ready. All I need the Democrats to do is sit down at the table with us and say, okay, let's just give that money out. We'll figure out the rest later. Who has stopped us from getting our money? The Democrats have stopped us from getting our money, not the president, not this hearing. Amy Coney Barrett's Senate confirmation hearing has zero to do with any of us getting our second stimulus check. They spent their entire day pushing more fear and more propaganda. So not only should we not be here, according to them, confirming a Supreme Court justice, they didn't even do that while they were there. So instead of, okay, let's hurry and get this done and do this by the book and decide if she's qualified, decide if she's not, and move on and again get to the next thing, they spent all of their time just going off on tangents that had nothing to do with this, that by way of itself extends this process. One more time, President Trump has your check ready to mail. The Democrats aren't letting it happen. Make no mistake. All right, next subject. I cannot believe that ever lasted for 10 or it lasted for 12 minutes. That is not what I expected, but I hope there was some good information in for you guys. To anybody that does not follow, and a lot of you do because the dude's got 2 million subscribers, but if you don't follow Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters on YouTube, here on YouTube, you guys need to. I'll link him down below in the description. Ralph Smart is amazing. I love this dude. I feel like I've known him forever. He is one of the main motivating factors for me doing what I do. To a lot of the people that say in my comments or in my letters that I get in the mail or however it is that you guys communicate with me, thank you also everybody that sent me letters. I went to the P.O. Box this morning and there was a lot. I really appreciate all of you. I'm sorry I can't write all you back. I really want to. Someday I'll just hire somebody to write you guys all back, but I just can't. And I do feel bad about it for what it's worth. But again, to everybody who writes and says your attitude is good and you stay positive, and even though you cover the negative, you keep us positive, you stay positive, you focus on good energy. Ralph Smart helps me a lot with that. He really does. I mean, I had a good mother, I had a good upbringing. God bless you, Mom. Thank you for everything you did for me and Dad too. But Ralph Smart does a very good job of helping me keep things in perspective every day. And I watched his video today, and today's video was about energy vampires. So I'm going to steal, Ralph, I love you, buddy. I hope you're not pissed at me for this. I'm sure you won't see this, but if you are, please don't be mad at me. I'm going to steal a page out of Ralph Smart's book today, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about energy vampires. There's a whole bunch of these all around us right now, a lot. And a lot of them are in government. A lot of them are in politics. A lot of them are in sports. They're on the news. They're in our group of friends. They're in our families. They're in our own homes in some cases. To those of you out there, you probably know who I'm talking to. And I hope things get better for you. But I know that some of us have them even in our homes. And they create big problems for us. And I understand that they can really be tough to deal with. Energy vampires come in all shapes and sizes, and they can be all kinds of things to you guys. But right now, in today's video and in this setting, I want to talk a little bit about the energy vampires that we deal with right now in politics and in worldly news and our recent events. As I watched these hearings today and as I watched these things play out, there was a common theme. It's not hard for people to see if they step back and just try to look for it. So I'm going to encourage all of you watching this video to do that the next time you watch these hearings, or the next time you watch a Senate hearing of any sort. Or if you're just watching Biden on TV, Trump on TV, Kamala Harris on TV, Mike Pence on TV, whoever you're watching on TV, pay attention to what their affiliation is, whether it be independent, Democrat, Republican, whatever it might be. Just pay attention to who these people claim to be representing, and then just step back and look at what they are. Look at their energy. You'll decide pretty quickly. Are they somebody who's feeding me positivity? Are they somebody who's giving me solutions? Are they somebody who's looking at things logically and trying to find answers and solutions and make things better for myself, my family, and my country? Or are they people who are here to do nothing more than be negative and cause problems, stir up fear, stir up chaos, stir up division? It's not hard to see who these people are. We all have them in our lives. I got a text message this morning from somebody that was a very good reminder of just how many of those we have in our lives. Somebody that I continue to let back into my life time after time after time. And every single time I do, they show me that they are there for one reason and one reason only, because they have a use for me and because they need me to do things for them. Not because they want to, help me, not because they want a relationship with me. It's self-serving. It's very self-serving. They're an energy vampire. They suck all of the energy out. We all have these, and I want to remind you guys how important it is right now, especially right now. We are at a precipice in all of our lives, in this country's lives, in our personal lives. Right now, we got to make some very big decisions about who we are inside, who we are as people. I'm not talking about whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. I'm not talking about whether you're straight or gay, black or white, whether you're Mormon, Catholic, whether you're whatever. I don't care. Decide inside who you are. Are you good or are you bad? Are you positive or are you negative? In fairness, folks, we all have bad days. I have been an energy vampire to people plenty of days. I am not going to stand here and act like I'm guiltless in this. I know that I myself have done this. And that's why I'm able to stand here and tell you you should do this, is because I myself have been forced to do this. On the days that I get up, I get moving, I have a good outlook, I decide today's a win, I'm going to kick butt at homeschool today. I'm getting all my packages out before midday. I'm going to have my video notes made. I'm going to have my research done. I'm going to get to bed early. I'm going to get good sleep. I'm going to eat better today. I'm going to reduce my stress levels today so that I don't have any more seizures. On the days that I get up and I'm just ready to go and my attitude is good and positive, and I decide that all things negative, all things that detract, all things that take out of my bucket, on the days that I decide those things aren't going to be present, and that I'm only going to allow myself to stay on positive things, positive notes, positive vibes, I'm only going to look at logical things. I'm not going to let people's idiocracies, if that's a word, I think it is. I'm not going to let the stupid things that people do get to me. I'm not going to let the messages that somebody sent me in the morning reminding me that they only need me to be useful for them. I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm going to use that for good. I'm going to use that to fuel me and remind me of my self-worth. It's incredibly important right now in all of our lives. Decide who you are, decide where you're headed, and look at who you have around you and pick those people incredibly carefully right now. I normally wouldn't say this. I really wouldn't. I would normally never, ever, ever tell you to turn your back on people, because I'm just not, that's not my style. Maria, I love you. Maria could probably attest to this. Maria spends so much of her time helping me work through my thoughts and things. She's always kind of telling me to pay attention to the things that happen and pay attention to the people that are around you. And she's always telling me, Jared, for lack of a better word, screw those people. She does a very good job of reminding me to be careful about who we keep around us. You are the company you keep. And if you keep negative, dark, cynical, energy vampires around you, guess what you're going to become? Negative, dark, cynical, and an energy vampire. We have to decide who we keep around us. No, you don't owe anyone your loyalty. You don't owe anyone your unhappiness. If someone takes away from you, peace out. Hit them with the deuces. Let them go. I have had friends that I have known since I was in the 7th grade that I've recently found out basically no longer associate with me whatsoever. I go and check their pages from time to time on social media. I see when they're not following me anymore. I don't know why. I like to get a kind of a read on again, who I keep around me. And I have been shocked at some of the people that I've known, again, since I was in my teens, that have decided that they're no longer going to be my friend because I have a stance on politics that I have. I say that to illustrate, again, my point. You owe nothing to anyone. You don't. You owe yourself your happiness. You owe yourself your self-confidence and your self-worth. And if you're letting that go away to keep someone else happy or to help them happy, you are on crack. Because those people will turn you out. Especially those people. The negative, dark, cynical, energy vampire types. Those people, you're not going to finally get through to them one day and they're going to all of a sudden be happy and start wanting to help you and be nice to you. It's not going to happen. So again, step back, look around, evaluate who you have around you, and pick your company incredibly wisely. We're going into probably 3-4 of the craziest months we have ever seen. On the end side of it, or on the other side of it, I believe, is absolute utopia. I do. It's not to say there's not still work to be done, and that's not to say that we won't still have some dicey times ahead, but I believe we are all more united than we've ever been. But again, we got to get through some tough stuff, and we're not going to get through it by keeping people around us to drag us down. Thank you all for keeping me up. Thank you all for keeping my spirits high, for reminding me that I do have a positive attitude most of the time. Because there are days that I don't feel like it, folks. I will say it. There are days that I make these videos and I really come away from it feeling like, man, I probably was a total downer in that video. And then I'll still get a comment from somebody. It's like, man, I love your positive attitude. So thank you everyone who reminds me that I do still have that in me. Bob Marley, one love. This is the mood I'm feeling today. This is the vibe I'm in today. One more time, everyone, please visit RedRacerVideo.com. Buy one of our shirts, one of our mugs, one of our products. Keep this thing going. Like, subscribe, tell your friends. Please try to bring people to the channel. YouTube is crushing me. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hang in tight. Like I said, there's a lot going on. We'll see you guys tomorrow. One love. Jared, RedRacer Video.